So we're working in the shop today on the F100, Mason's F100. We had a axle seal leaking, and so we're gonna do the locker and everything at the same time, replace the inner axle seals, and just go through the whole thing again. If you wanna take a look, here's what we got going on. So we've already disassembled everything, pulled the third member or the carrier, axles are out, and we got quite the mess going on. And so we're going to start on disassembling this and getting our locker in here, so stay tuned. Alright, I'll grab that gear. So you gotta make sure you get the washer from behind them. All that's got to come out. These have them on them too, so you got to make sure you get those out. And he's got it. Okay. So we're going to be putting in just a Spartan locker. That's what we're going to be putting in. All of our old stuff back in here. I like more of a mechanical locker than I do an air locker or electric. If I had my choice, I would do the mechanical first, then I would do electric, and then I would do air. It just takes all the other things that could go wrong out of the equation, where the mechanical, it's just there, so they work. You don't have to put grease on here, but I just don't like having anything dry when it goes in. We were told that these had lockers in them when we got it, but it didn't have lockers, so we are putting them in. Again, I'm just giving this a light coat of grease just because I don't like everything dry. Yeah. Grab the, okay, I can see, never mind. we gotta keep going. Okay, hold that. There, we got it. All right. Just like that. Everybody's got their own ways of doing it, but I like to do is I slip that in there. And I will do that. So it just kind of straightens it out. I like to take a gob of that. That's why we cleaned it, so we can.
So we can get dirty again?
Yeah. Yep. Just like that. See the little keyway? Okay, that little keyway is usually like straight up and down on the. That should not go in there that easy, but okay. Flat, so that I can, if you can get two of them to screw in there, it makes things so much easier. See that?
Yeah.
Instead of trying to look for them. That feels good.
Alright, so we started on the rear axle over here. We took out the shafts and we have the diff cover off for now. But some bad news. U-joints, it's about as much as they spend. Axle shaft bearings, yep, it spins like butter. Same with this one. There's no bearings in that one. these might be original stock bearings. And if we come over here, look how nasty this looks over here. And the wear, it's all wearing. And it super tight. Doesn't even move. So this is gonna take a lot longer than we thought.
Alright, so we got the third member out. When we went to service the rear end, we ran into a bunch of problems. There was bearings that were worn out, U-joints were worn out, axle seals were leaking. It was kind of a mess. So we pulled this. This was so gummed up. We used a couple cans of, I think we used 3 cans actually to get it this clean, which it still isn't very clean. So we're going to disassemble it, get it in the parts washer, get it cleaned up, and we're going to take the third member apart. We have a Spartan locker. We're going to put that in there, and we'll check these bearings and see how they are. But everything's really sticky. It's really old. Grease that was in there, even though we went through and topped everything off, we should have gone through this a little bit better. So that's what we're doing now. So let's get busy. We'll remove the keepers. I'm just going to keep everything somewhat organized. I've already marked the caps. I checked backlash on it before I did this, and it was about 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I'm seeing things. There might be sparkles on my glove right now.
Oh, that's fine.
Like soak all this stuff up?
This tool I actually had from one of the grinders to take it off, but it fits in there perfect, so that's what I was using for that. What'd you say, miss?
Do you want me to use a rag to soak all this stuff up?
Once it's out of there, yeah.
Okay.
Bearings actually feel good, so that's a plus. I'm going to set this into the parts washer, see if I can get this cleaned out that way. Then we'll go through, spray it down with brake clean, and wipe it all down from there. Alright, so we're getting ready to disassemble the 9-inch. I've already marked it here. We're going to be putting in the Spartan. So I've already broken all these loose. We'll get these out of here. Get a punch, we'll knock this out. Okay, we were able to separate this. We used a sacrificial putty knife, and that's what we did. So I know we got a thrust washer on here we got to get off. Okay. See if we can't get our pin out of here. I'm just wiping this because it's so slippery. Clean it all out. We're got everything apart. Make sure you get all of your thrust washers out. These I don't think we're going to be reusing. Set those out of the way. That we're not reusing. Get this thrust washer off of here. I know the Spartan locker, you got to measure the thickness of your gears here, so we'll get everything cleaned up and then we'll come right back. Pin out, we're installing the lockers now. We measured this. You measure this together. It should be a minimum of 1.197, I think it was. Ours measured well over that, so we're within all the specifications for that. So we're getting everything together here. I put a light coat of grease around these on the inside. No, it goes without thrush washers. Alright.
You want to show them what lockers are?
I think I told them Spartan already. Where's that grease at?
Can we push some more up?
You can, yeah. I just like to put a light coat on everything before it goes in there. So we don't have the pinholes, so it's these. I put a little grease on the springs. Okay. Just wanted to stay in long enough so you could set it on there. Okay. We do this just to suck this down, otherwise you got to try and hold the ring gear and everything and do it all at the same time. It's a pain. Just try and pull it down somewhat even. That way it's seated up and done. When you do this, you're not trying to take anything off, you're just making sure there's no burrs or anything on there.
Oh, where's your mic?
Huh?
Where's your mic at?
I don't know. You just put it.
I'm gonna go show camera what we did, since we forgot to record it. Come on, camera. Put the third member back in. The pinion actually spins now, like butter. Before it wouldn't spin at all. And we use a gasket instead of silicone. Huh? A lube locker gasket? Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Lube locker gasket. So, lockers are in. Check it out. And we painted the axle. Looks brand new. We just need to put the drive shaft in after we replace the U-joints, but we'll do that off camera. Thanks for watching.